masonry beam over the opening to actually carry the loads to the either side of the opening as a traditional lintel. Very straightforward. This is what we call a standard detail, which is just summarising what I've just been talking about. We're looking at here the formation of a beam over an opening. It's then necessary, if it has failed, to actually pin the existing lintel up. It's not a structural member at this stage. You've got to carry its self-weight only. So a few pins of whatever type to actually support that existing structure. Arch lintel is exactly the same. If this arch lintel is gone, we pin it up into the sound area of masonry above, or by the beam, using those installed pins. Lateral restraints. This is again traditional solution. These lateral restraints run right through the building and basically stop these areas of masonry bulging. The problem with masonry is that it's not very good at transferring the load of the restraint at that point out through the rest of the structure. And particularly in lime mortar, these areas of structure, the remoter areas of structure will move quite happily, regardless of that tie being there. And if you look down the line of a lot of some of these schemes, it looks like the back of a Chesterfield settee. Very strong local ties, but not suitable for large areas of masonry. There's two nice lateral restraints on the gable end of domestic property. Absolute horror story that. Maybe possibly a structural downpipe as well, but hardly sympathetic with the actual structure. There's some lateral restraints on a very small domestic property. They're the lateral restraints, they're Christmas decorations. But, these don't flash. But you can see the extent of the work that's required to restrain very, very small panels of masonry that most people think wouldn't have an issue with lateral restraint. Let's do it, actually. As an engineer, I would be embarrassed to actually present an invoice to a client from like that to a company. So you don't have to go very far to see horror stories like this. This is an interesting one. That's an existing remedial tie, and you can see what's happening here is the actual panels continue to bulge regardless of that tie being there. And we were actually called to site to look at this, and that was a rather nasty step fracture that they were concerned about. They weren't bothered about the overall bulging of the panel. Buttressing. These are some new buttresses which are basically put in to stop this flank wall, this very long, thin building, falling over. They've had some ties put through the gable ends to try to hold it up. Complete misdiagnosis here is we were actually brought to site to tie these buttresses back into the building because they parted company. The problem here was roof spread, and we actually suggested collar tying the roof and taking the buttresses out rather than tying them back in. Lateral restraint issues, we do what we do in new build. We tie in the existing masonry to the existing floor diaphragm. By the end ties into end grade, or indeed parallel ties into the parallel joists. We generally tie in the floor members. We can use grout ties to tie in wayward front walls into party walls, or indeed a combination of crack stitch and grouted ties to tie in external walls into internal walls. But very quickly we can start addressing fairly major sort of masonry movement just by using these various techniques to tie structures back in again. Bay windows, two-storey bay windows. This is one we did in Birkenhead. This was done for somewhere in the region of about £2,500 to £3,000. The alternative, this was taken down and rebuilt it. The guy wasn't too pleased about that, simply because the Birkenhead, if you take your front wall out of your property, the rest of your property follows very quickly out through the hole. Okay? Yeah. Okay, so just using those sort of very, very simple applications, we can very, very quickly tie fairly wayward masonry back together. Okay. I've been here during the coffee break. If I've got any questions, please come up. Thank you.